Hello, you are about to watch a grammar session adapted from the Diction and Grammar Webinar 2025. It was a collaborative event that my colleague and I hosted. It is simple, practical, and made for everyday use. I am Oluwakomi Akonde, and in this video, we are diving into something we can all relate to. We'll be treating common grammatical errors. 10 everyday mistakes made by Nigerians in English. You've probably made a few of these errors without even knowing. Don't worry, we've all been there. So sit back, relax, and let's have a fun but eye-opening ride through some of the quirks of everyday English. Before we move on, be sure to check out the IPA session by my co-host and watch out for the next video on rules of Concord coming soon. So let's talk about grammatical errors, those tiny mistakes that sneak into our everyday speech and writing. Now, here is why this matters. These mistakes don't just make us sound funny, they can affect how we are perceived as professionals, students, or even in casual conversations. A tiny slip can confuse your message, weaken your credibility, or cause a little embarrassment, especially in formal settings. These errors are super common among Nigerians, and thankfully they are not hard to fix once you know what to look out for. By the end of this video, you'll be spotting them like an expert. Let's get into it, shall we? So let's start with error number 1. It's worth it. Have you heard that one before? Maybe you've also come across "you don't worth it." Oof! Imagine saying something this harsh to someone and it's not even grammatically correct. That is double the damage. Here is the thing. Worth is actually an adjective, not a verb, so it needs a helper like is or was to work properly. If you are familiar with your auxiliary verbs, you will know that they are also called helping verbs. So instead of "it's worth it," say "it is worth it" or "it was worth it." Say after me, "it is worth it" or "it was worth it." And instead of "you don't worth it," go for "you are not worth it" or "you are not worth the trouble." So remember, worth always needs support. It doesn't stand alone. Get this one right and trust me, it's worth it. Yes, it is worth it. Alright, let's look at another one we hear all the time. I used to go to church. Not quite. What you probably meant was I used to go to church. Now here is the thing. Some people say used to when talking about something they still do. That is already off. But it even gets trickier. They also leave out the D sound at the end. So it ends up being wrong in two ways. 1. They are using it to talk about a habit in the present, which it is not meant for. 2. And they are not even saying it in its proper past form, used to. Now, if you are talking about a habit in the past, it is correct to say I used to travel a lot. I used to play football after school. But if it is something you still do now, an everyday habit, use the present simple. I go to church. I travel a lot. She sings. So, used to is only for past habits. But if it is a regular habit now, just keep it simple and present. Next up, let's talk about a very common mix-up. Using much for countable nouns. This is common to many Nigerians. For example, people who attended the program today were not much. Really? There were much people at the party. These are not correct. Now, it sounds a bit off, right? Well, most people don't know that. That's because much is meant for things you cannot count. Remember your countable noun and uncountable nouns, right? So, nouns like water, money, or time are uncountable nouns. We don't have much water, we don't have much money, we don't have much time. Now, but people, you can count people. 10 people, 100 people, even 3,000 people at a concert. So we use many. People who attended the party today were not many. There were many people at the party. So here is the rule of thumb. Use much for uncountable nouns and many for countable nouns. Just remember, if you can't count it, many is your body. Here is another common one. Where is John and his friends? So most Nigerians, this sentence is correct, but it is not correct. Let's break it down, shall we? The subject here is John and his friends. That means we are not only talking about John, but also about his friends. That is a plural subject right there. It includes John and his friends. So whatever John did, he and his friends did it. But the verb is singular. That doesn't match a plural subject, does it? The verb to use there is are. So we say, where are John and his friends? So here is how you think about it. You would say, where is the boy for one person, right? But where are the boys when it comes to more than one person? So always make sure your verb matches your subject in number. Where are John and his friends instead of where is John and his friends? Another way to look at it is this. John and his friends are coming. You can see that it is attracting a plural verb and not a singular verb. So we are not talking only about John, but we are talking about his friends too. Here is another one we hear often. What did I said? This one makes me cringe. Okay, that sentence is grammatically incorrect because in this sentence you have two past forms. Now let's break it down. When we use did in a question, did I, did you, we are already using the past tense. So the verb that follows should stay in its base form, not the past tense. Said is past tense, but did already shows the past, so we don't need both. So when you say what did I, that verb that follows should not be in the past tense anymore. It should be in the base form. What did I say? So the correct form is what did I say, not what did I said. Think of it like this. You would say what did you do, not what did you did, right? Does it not sound hard to say what did you did? So in the same way, what did I say, not what did I said. So keep it simple. Past tense go with did, but the main verb stays in the base form. Here is one that sneaks into a lot of formal events. You will often hear, let's round up the program, or I will round up my speech shortly. You will usually hear this at church programs or meetings, but it is not quite right. The phrase round up actually means to gather things or people together. For example, the police rounded up the suspects, or let's round up the kids. But when you are talking about bringing something to a close, the right expression is round off. Say after me, round off. Yes, very good. So the correct sentences are, let's round off the program, not let's round up. Alright? Another example is, I will round off my speech shortly. Just remember, round off means to conclude or finish something nicely. Round up is more about collecting or gathering. So the next time you are anchoring a program or moderating a program and you are about to bring it to a close, don't say I will round off shortly. It is correct to say I will round off shortly. It is a small change, but it sounds more polished. Now this one is so common to most Nigerians and it almost sounds correct. You will hear, give the boys 5 mangoes. Or give everyone who attended the webinar 500 naira. But grammatically, that is not correct. In English, we do not repeat the number like that. Instead of saying 5, the proper way is to say 5 each. So the correct version would be, give the boys 5 mangoes each. Give everyone who attended the webinar 500 naira each. It is not so hard. Say after me, 5 each. You see? Instead of saying 5, say 5 each. It is a simple fix. Just drop the repetition and add each to show equal distribution. So instead of give them two books, say give them 2 books each. It sounds clearer, more natural, and your grammar gets a boost too. Let's keep it going. Next up, this one right here confuses a lot of Nigerians. You hear someone say she's matured and you pause like, wait, what? Here is the thing. Matured is a verb, and that is the past tense of a verb or the past participle form of a verb. Remember, mature, matured, matured. Okay? Like when we say the wine has matured or the investment has matured after 5 years. But when you are talking about a person's character, how responsible or grown up they act, the correct adjective is simply mature, not matured. So it should be she's mature. Now, for you to be able to use matured, it means you have to use it with your have verb. She has matured, which shows development. But the other one is talking about character. She is mature. So get the difference? She is mature. That is for showing someone's character. She has matured. That is for showing that somebody is developed. So, not matured. Easy way to remember. You don't say is growth, right? You say is grown. Same energy. Alright. Let's keep moving. I know you have heard this one before. Don't take it personal. People have used this expression this way over and over again that it is now sounding correct. And maybe you even say it yourself. Don't take it personally. You see what I did there? But here's the deal. Personal is an adjective. It describes a thing like a personal diary or a personal problem. Remember that thing that we were taught back in primary school? That an adjective modifies a noun and an adverb modifies a verb. So what you need there is an adverb, not an adjective. And since take is a verb, we have to describe how it is done using the adverb personally. So the correct way to say this is, don't take it personally, it was only joking. I hope you won't take my feedback personally. Just think of it this way, you can't take an adjective, but you can take something personally. So the next time you are about to say take it personal, pause, add that sweet little li, and boom, grammatically good. So let's move on to the next slide. Alright, moving on to the last one. It's been fun so far. Now here is a funny one. Our team is lacking behind. How? How exactly can one lag behind? Sounds okay at first, right? But let's pause for a second. The word lack means to be without something. Like she lacks confidence or we lack resources. But when you are talking about falling behind in progress, and I'm sure that's what you mean each time you say lag behind, the correct word is lag, as in lagging behind. Say after me, lag, not lack. Good. So instead of saying she's lacking behind in her studies, say she is lagging behind in her studies. Instead of our team is lacking behind in the competition, say our team is lagging behind in the competition. You lack something like skill, experience, or sleep. But if you are slow to catch up, you are not lacking behind, you are lagging behind. Yes, no more lacking behind. Alright, that brings us to the end of this video. We've gone through 10 common grammatical errors and more importantly, how to fix them. I hope you are leaving this session more confident in your speaking and writing. But we are not done just yet. For those of you who want to polish your pronunciation and understand how English sounds work, don't miss my co-host's amazing session on the International Phonetic Alphabet. It's practical, engaging, and a great next step in mastering spoken English. Be sure to check it out right after this video. Also, stay tuned for day 2 of our grammar webinar, where we will dive into the rules of Concord. It is a key topic that clears up a lot of confusion. You don't want to miss it. Thank you so much for watching. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep your eyes on this space for more educational content coming your way soon. like, comment on, and share this video with someone who needs it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos.